Here's some food for thought. Is it more wrong to hurt a baby for no good reason or to hurt a horse for no good reason? If you had a preference of hurting one over another, then Dr. Jerome Singer wouldn't consider you a speciesist. Speciesism is the assumption of human superiority leading to the exploitation of animals. Now we know that most animals are not as intelligent as us humans, but Singer would argue that superior intelligence does not give us more of a right to life than any animal. You're probably thinking, why would we spend time trying to treat animals equally when we can't even treat our own species equally? Well, Singer argues that racism and speciesism aren't all that different. We're choosing to discriminate between certain living beings based on arbitrary characteristics, such as skin color or intelligence or self-awareness. Singer believes that pain and suffering should be minimized regardless of characteristics such as race, sex, species, or etc.
So now, let's take a look at speciesism in the world. I know that most or all of you have eaten a burger in your life. Eating meat is the most common practice of speciesism in the world today. Just think about it. We're actively choosing to kill an animal to fulfill our craving of that double-double. More often than not, the lives of animals in factory farms are horrible because of the living conditions. They're basically raised and groomed to die for our pleasure. Singer does say that having free-range farms is more humane, but in the end, animals still suffer because of castration, separation from their parents, and of course, their slaughter. Another form of speciesism is experimentation on animals. In the past, we've done experiments where we forced monkeys to run to exhaustion and gave them lethal doses of radiation until they collapsed. We've severely damaged the eyes of some rabbits by testing shampoo. We've also psychologically tortured monkey mothers into killing their own children. None of these animals deserve to be harmed, yet we use them like they were our playthings.
Wait a second. How do we know for sure animals feel pain in the same way we do? In other words, how do we know they're actually suffering? While animals cannot explicitly tell us they're suffering, it is clear by their actions, like when a dog whines when you accidentally step on their paw. Also, animals' nervous systems are similar to ours, so we can assume that they feel pain similar to how we do. Now that we have established that animals feel pain like we do, then why is it okay for them to eat each other, but not okay for us to eat them? Well, this is because that they don't have the mental capacity to choose alternative foods. Humans don't need meat to survive, and we are aware of the fact that we shouldn't kill animals just for their meat. Even though we are natural omnivores, there is nothing wrong with avoiding meat in order to save lives. Some argue that killing the animals does not cause them to suffer like humans do because they are unaware of their own mortality. This implies that the intellectual inferiority of animals to humans makes it morally okay to kill them for pleasure. However, the line between animal and human intelligence is blurred. Some species of animals have a level of intelligence that rivals that of humans. Certain animals use their environment to their advantage, for example, like the Galapagos woodpecker, which uses a cactus thorn to dig insects out of trees. Some apes have even learned sign language, and there are humans that do not have the mental capacity to do either of those as a result of disability. So, how could it be morally right to kill animals who have a higher intelligence than some humans if we say that intelligence is the moral boundary for killing living beings? Singer would argue that this is not morally right. He uses the argument to conclude that the threshold of suffering of any living being is sentience.
The ethics presented in Singer's argument could be applied to Ishiguro's Never Let Me Go. Similarly to killing cows for their meat, cloned children are being raised to harvest organs for the human race. In the world of Never Let Me Go, the clones are raised at Hailsham, like the cows raised in a free-range farm. Efforts are made to keep the students oblivious to their inevitable fate. Though the ethical dilemma is more complicated and nuanced than much of these examples Singer provides, the argument could be made that students are being treated without equal considerations of interest, much like cows on any given free-range farm.